So, a very good morning to all of you. I hope everybody can see and hear me clearly. After a gap of a day, we are meeting again. And in this session, all of you know, it happens 6 days a week, except Tuesdays. And in this session, we discuss different passages. We discuss different types of passages with different writing styles, different authors. So, before beginning with anything else, let me quickly tell you about the schedule, right? The YouTube schedule. This is something which everybody would be knowing by now, right? 10 o'clock session. It is from Wednesday to Mondays, and it started off as an editorial session. All of you know it. If you have been attending it regularly. Now we have started focusing on actual exam questions, and the actual exam questions pick from we pick from different exams, and most of you would have, you have already discussed it with me that ZAT ke jo passages they are slightly tougher, right? So today we will take up a passage the entire schedule, and as usual, before I begin, just to break the ice, I will show you some questions also, questions on verbal ability also. So very good morning to everybody. I hope all of you can see and hear clearly. Right. This is the first question. Find out the odd the sentence. Right. And all of you know that this type of a question is something which comes very commonly in the exam. And before we begin, just to point out, when we speak about finding out the odd sentence, in the directions, what they say is out of five sentences, four of them can be linked. Four of them are connected to each other. They can be formed a sequence. They can be used to form a sequence. You may or may not be able to find out sequence exactly, right? But you are supposed to, find out what is the odd. Now here, देखो, connected mentioning the same thing does not mean that the sentences are connected, right? So we have to be very careful. It is not just that the sentences have to speak about the same thing to be connected. Have to be very careful, right? So five sentences of which four of them can be linked to form a sequence. The one which cannot be linked is the answer. Okay, everybody is clear. So this is a question which comes very regularly. What is the approach? Right. Many people think the answer will be very different from the other sentences. इतना easy नहीं होगा. Right. If the answer is very different from the others, it will become a very easy question. And cat में easy questions इतना क्यों पूछेंगे, right? So what should be the source? What should be the the approach? I always tell people link sentences, and after that whatever is left is the answer. Be very careful. One of you has given his answer, but be very careful. So far, three people have answered: Himanshu, Vaishnavi, and the Greek god. I know that is not your name, but that is what I can read, and that's the only thing I. Be very careful. You are taking the shortcut. Everybody who is answering so far, who has given the answer so far, what you're doing is you are doing the shortcut. You are not linking the sentences. Everybody is saying answer is three. No, many people are saying answer is three. Some are saying it is five. ध्यान से देखो. Odd sentence three. Nobody, let me tell you, everybody is in a hurry. Everybody is in a hurry. Link the sentences. ऋषिकेश, four or five answer, एक answer देना पड़ेगा, right? Because even in the exam, you'll have to pick only one exam, one question. You'll have to pick only one sentence. Okay, let me link koi nahi kar raha, link koi nahi kar raha hai. The best answer is 4. Best answer is 4. The best answer is 4. ध्यान से देखो. This is a tricky question. Right. See, the need of the hour is to strengthen the independence of the board. Right. Now, if you notice, this independence, 1 and 3 are connected. The need of the hour is to strengthen the independence of the board. We have to put in stringent standards in order to achieve this independence. Right. So 1 and 3 are connected. Right. 3 says you have to put in stringent standards. What kind of standards and what do they want to strengthen? They want to strengthen the independence of the board. Okay. And 3 says we should put in place strict standards. One standard that is mentioned here is in 2. So 1, 3, 2 are connected. So 1, ये तीनों आंसर नहीं हो सकता. So you are left with 4 and 5. Right. So out of 4 and 5, which is better? Okay. So far, what have we been speaking about? In sentence 1, 2, and 3, 1, 3, and 2 rather, we have been speaking about strengthening the independence of the board. Right. Independence of the board or the board of directors is definitely connected to relatives working in the organization. So 5 cannot be the answer. Assessing the board members for performance. Right, their performance is very different from independence. So 4 is the answer. Everybody got this point? Everybody understood? So it's a trick. Every sentence has got something to do with the board, right? But board members, board of directors, it is just a very vast point. You have to look deeper than that. So the best answer is 4. Everybody understood? 4 is about performance. All the other sentences speak about strengthening the independence of the board of directors. Independence is definitely connected to how many employees, so how company employees are related to each director on the board. So independent hona hoga, so there should be no connection. Everybody got it, I hope. So this was an odd question. Okay, everybody got it. So the trick here is, as I was telling you, many of you, what is the approach that you have taken? What you have done is you have read it cursorily and you find out which one looks different. ऐसे में that is not always going to give you the answer. What you need to do is link the sentences. Something which I've been telling everybody, without linking the sentences, you will not be able to answer. So the best answer here is 4 is the answer. Okay, clear everybody? Right. Try one more sentence, try one more question. After that, I will show you the passage. Right. So this is where ये भी cap का ही variety है. You were supposed to put in the sequence. There are 5 sentences, right? So what is the correct sequence? Type in the. Okay, everybody got the answer to the previous question, I think. Now let's try this question. There's a slight mistake here. Not only around here, this is Americas. Americas as in apostrophe. This will take you a minute or so to attempt it. I hope everybody is doing it. See? And one more thing, and this A, the article A and mushrooming के बीच में there should be a space also. Yeah, I hope everybody is reading it. ध्यान से देखो. Do not have any assumptions in mind. Approach, as I've already told you, right? Parajumbles and odd sentences में the basic thing that you require is the ability to link sentences. करेक्ट सीक्वेंस में सबसे पहले which sentence will come first, you may or may not be able to find. Important thing is you should be able to find out links, right? कम से कम दो sentences को link करो, solid link. उसके बाद remaining three कहाँ आएंगे? Where will be the remaining three fit in? So that will definitely make it easy. ठीक है, प्रशांत इस क्वेश्चन में द अप्रोच इज डिफरेंट. पहले प्रशांत देखो, ध्यान से देखो, पहले वाले क्वेश्चन में ऑड सेंटेंस ढूंढना था, इसमें करेक्ट सीक्वेंस ढूंढना है, ऑड नहीं. सो यू हैव टू गिव मी द एंटायर सीक्वेंस, नॉट ऑड. हम समझ गए प्रशांत? अंडरस्टूड, राइट? तो वैसे इसमें ऑड सेंटेंस है ही नहीं. ठीक है, क्लियर? सो डायरेक्शन मैंने प्रॉपरली नहीं लिखा. आई थॉट एवरीबॉडी वुड अंडरस्टैंड, राइट? यहाँ लिखा हुआ ऑलरेडी, राइट? So Prashant, give your answer like Frankie is giving. Frankie and everybody else is giving. Himanshu is also given, right? Okay. Uh, there are 3 people who have given their answers. 4 people, in fact. What else? Who else? I'm looking up. Right. So there are 4 people who have typed in their answers. So what should be the answer? Now 4, 5, 6, 7 people: Divya, Vicky, Shivani, Mahima, Himanshu, Prashant, Frankie, Pinky also has given their Pinky, Rishikesh also, right? Okay, let me wait for some time and I will type the answer here, right? The answer is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exactly as it is given. This is the correct answer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right. So this is again something which happens with many people, right? There is nothing which says that the given sequence is wrong. The given sequence can also be the answer. So you should be very confident about the answer. You should be able to think about it that way. Everybody understood this, I hope. Everybody understood. So the best answer should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. कैसे देखो? Right. Industrialization gave birth to urbanization, and urbanization gave birth to suburbanization. So industrialization, urbanization, and then suburbanization. When you say this trend, he is referring to the trend that you have in 1. Okay. So this trend, which was repeated across America, nurtured the development of the American car culture. So this trend developed the car culture, the building of the and the mushroom of suburbs, right? Which revoked, it changed the American fabric of life, right? And in sentence 3, many other developed and developing countries followed the American model, connected at 2 and 3, with all its upsides and downsides, matlab all its negative and positive. Okay, right? So, uh, so many of you are thinking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So nahi hoga. So that is what we have to stop. The answer could be ho sakta hai. It could be anything. So never assume anything, right? And the result which you have here is the whole thing. And as these urban people attract more people, the sprawl extends in every direction. Sprawl means spread, right? So the city is spread in every direction. So that is what we have to be very careful about. So answer 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bhi ho sakta hai. So whenever you approach any answer, you should approach it with like your mind with the wheels. Okay, everybody is clear with this, I hope. Now let's try a passage. This passage is from Zach 2017 या 18. I'm not really sure. याद नहीं आ रहा. मुझे लग रहा 18 है. Right. Zach 2018 most probably, but whatever it is from Zach. And the passage is based on philosophy. Right. And many of you, right, in the past 1 month or so, I have given you a taste of both Zach as well as cat passages. And what do you think? Do you agree with me when I say that Zach passages are tougher than cat? Right. So if you practice with Zach, right, cat passages will probably sound a little bit easier. Not always. In probably 80% of the cases, the Zach passages will be a little bit tougher. So that is what we will do. So the purpose of the session is to prepare you like this, right? So this is like 4 slides, slightly longish passage, and there are 1, 2, 3, 4 questions. Okay, so let's see. and you will find that straight away the passage is not easy to understand, right? So what you should do is, right, uh, देखो, your aim should be to be able to answer the question. So let's see, right? So read the first paragraph, and if you come across any word which you do not know, right, and let me discuss it with you, right? For example, uh, there are two words which I think may find it difficult to write these two. Right. Once okay, by the way, those of you who have been regularly attending this session would already know the meaning of this word epistemology. ये बार बार आता है. It comes very common, metaphysics, epistemology, philosophy में कई बार आता है. What is metaphysics? Metaphysics is trying to explain the origin of the universe, trying to explain the universe of the cosmos. Epistemology is the philosophical study, analysis, and detailed arrangement of knowledge. Epistemology, right? So correct, practical and theory of knowledge. Correct. So you can say it that way. So epistemology is the branch of philosophy that deals with the analysis, right, and understanding of philosophy. And what is pragmatic? Pragmatic is Pragmatic is what is pragmatic? Pragmatic is nothing else but practical. Okay. So if you say something is practical, it means it is, something is pragmatic, somebody is pragmatic, that means he is practical. Okay. Just look at this and see what does it mean. Okay, everybody's got it. I hope. What is the paragraph say? Straight away, can you sense a certain direction? Descartes' assertion is that ideas may be clear and distinct, right? I mean, something can be true if they are clear and distinct. Peirce argues that something may seem clear if it is familiar. So Peirce is arguing against Descartes' idea, right? So, and he's telling you distinctness depends on having good definitions, right? So, according to Peirce, right, Descartes' assertion that something may be true if they're clear and distinct does not agree with it. Really. He does not agree with it 100%. Why? Because if something is familiar, it might seem clear. And distinctness, right? It depends on having good definitions, right? And it does not give you anything whether it does not see. Distinctness depends on having good definitions. It does not tell you certainly whether something is true or not. What is empirical? Empirical means something which can be understood by experience, right? Which you can go through directly, right? So empirical, like experiments ke through. Okay. So Peirce argues that thoughts need more than a sense of clarity. It also needs a method for making ideas clear. So what is if you notice? Yes, Vicky, correct. Observational results, something which you can observe by experiments, by experience. Okay. So what is the first paragraph? To summarize it, Descartes says that something may be true if it is clear and distinct. Here says enough nahi hai, because clarity can come simply from familiarity. Distinctness can also be simply by having a clear definition. According to Peirce, right, for something to be certain, right, there should be a process of making the idea clear. Then we can find out whether it is true or false. Right. So there should be a process of making it clear, and then we can find out if it is true or false. So this is called pragmatism. Right. Pragmatism is nothing else but being practical. So epistemology on which it depends is pragmatism. Pragmatism in terms of philosophy. Everybody got the point? I hope everybody read it. Right. Next slide is there. First slide, what did we notice? We realized that Peirce argued against Descartes. In the second example, also you can see that there's this disagreement continues. Right. Now, I hope everybody will be able to understand what Pierce is telling us from here to here. Right. यहाँ से यहाँ तक what is Pierce telling us? Right. Pierce rejected Descartes' method of doubt. Right. According to Pierce, you cannot doubt something which you do not doubt practically. Right. So he says, you know, it I mean when you doubt something when you are thinking theoretically in your study, but if you do not doubt the same thing when you are walking on the streets, it is not doubt, right? So according to Pierce, he believes in this is what that is why it is called pragmatism, right? So if you doubt something, you cannot doubt something that you do not doubt in fact, in the sense that you cannot say that I doubt X while thinking, but practically I do not. So for him everything is more practical than anything, right? वैष्णवी ये किसी आदमी का नाम है, पियर्स जैसे किसी आदमी का नाम है, so it is somebody. ठीक है, राइट? सो पियर्स ने क्या प्रपोज किया? आफ्टर दिस you have read up to here, then what is he saying? So in short, according to Pierce, we should be practical. Even when you doubt, you should be practical. सिर्फ थियरी में डाउट करने से नहीं होगा, ठीक है? क्लियर है? Right. Now, what does Pierce? So he does not simply say that doubt दोनों तरह मतलब practically करना चाहिए, theoretically नहीं. Then he also tells you कैसे होना चाहिए, right? That philosophical investigation can begin from one state of mind, right? The state of mind in which we find ourselves when we begin. So starting से शुरू करो, right? If any of us examine our states of mind, we find two kinds of thoughts: beliefs and doubts. Now he's going to define what is belief and doubt, right? So according to Pierce, right, we should start from the beginning, and in the beginning, you just have two kinds of thoughts: beliefs and doubts, right? So, what is a belief? What is a doubt? We will get to understand it in the next slide. Okay, everybody's read it, I hope. Everybody's read it. Okay, right. Now, so beliefs and doubts, understand the strand of ideas. Beliefs and doubts को Pierce क्यों introduce करता है? Because he is telling you a method to find out if something is true or not, right? Simply theoretically दिमाग में सोचने से नहीं होगा, practically करना पड़ेगा. Practically कैसे करें? For this he gives you the idea of beliefs and doubts. Read this for some time and then you will. And what is a belief? What is a doubt? It will be very clear when you look at the relation also, right? Which one leads to what, right? And what is the definition? This entire paragraph is dependent on is focused on defining what is a belief and what is a doubt. Right? Understand? I hope everything is clear. In a belief, you would make a statement. That means you confirm it. You are sure about it. In a doubt, we would have a question. So when we have a doubt, we would have a question. So if you have a belief, you will make a statement, right? So this is a pen. This is a belief, right? Is this a pen? That is a doubt. So according to Pierce, this is okay. Then he also, Shivani and Sachin appease. Appease basically means to satisfy. Appease means to satisfy. Three of you are asking me the meaning of appease. Appease means to satisfy. Vicky, what you're giving me is your definition, right? What you're giving me is is your definition, right? Which is not very far off, but try to focus on the author's definition. Okay, so uneasy doubt is not an uneasy state of mind. When you are doubtful, you experience uneasiness. Okay, विक्की समझ में आ गया? So the uneasy state of mind is not the doubt. The uneasy state of mind is a characteristic of the doubt. It's like fever is a symptom of malaria, but fever is not malaria. Getting the point? ठीक है, right? So when you have a doubt, you will have uneasiness and hesitation, right? So the doubt also causes an irritation, and it that causes us to appease it by answering a question and thereby fixing a belief and putting the mind to rest. So if you have a doubt, what it's saying is that, right, it leads us, or it encourages us to find a solution to the irritation, and when we find that solution is what we call, okay, right? Getting the point. So appease here, okay, you know, appease here basically means to satisfy, right? जो irritate, मतलब you have a certain problem troubling you, so when you appease the problem, that means you soothe the problem. ठीक है? Appease does not mean demand, does not mean demand. Demand it by answering the question. How can you demand it? The irritation is appeased, मतलब irritation को कम कर दिया. Irritation क्या है? Doubt है, so दिमाग में कुछ खलता रहेगा. That is a doubt, right? So a belief will get rid of that doubt. So it is not demand at all. Okay, right. Now, so then he gives you an example of what is a doubt, what is a belief. For example, a common example of doubt, he tells you when you are in an unfamiliar city and you do not know the location. Okay, right. So we overcome this doubt and fix a belief by getting directions. Yes, the directions may be right, may be wrong, but we have a belief. So once we achieve a belief, we can take the necessary action to reach our destination. Right. So Peirce defines belief subjectively as something which we are aware of and which appeases the doubt. Objectively, a belief is a rule of action. The whole purpose of thought consists in overcoming. So, idea is very simple, right? Belief is something which soothes or which solves the problem that comes with a doubt. In a doubt, right, you are not certain, you do not have any clarity. In belief, you have that, right? You overcome that. ठीक है, everybody is getting it, right? So एक एग्जाम्पल से समझ में आएगा. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, व्हेन यू आर इन सिटी, राइट, यू डू नॉट नो रेलवे स्टेशन कहाँ है, दैट इज अ डाउट, राइट? व्हेन यू आस्क समबडी एंड यू कंफर्म, द पर्सन टेल्स यू, अच्छा इधर से जाओ, ये है, वहां से आगे 2 किलोमीटर जाके राइट लो, देन टेक अ लेफ्ट, राइट? After taking those directions, you have a belief. The belief might be right, might be wrong, we do not know, but beliefs put your mind at rest. Okay, everybody got it, I hope. This is the next slide. Everybody understood, I hope. Okay, right. Next slide, the last slide. Let's see. Right, this is where in this slide he defines the, he defines what do you call, he defines belief to a great extent. Okay, right. In this slide, do you come across any word which you do not know? Right. Now, dilettantism is a word which is used, right? But dilettantism is used in a, okay, सचिन guess करने की कोशिश करो. Dilettantism का देखो, dilettant is a person जो किसी चीज को करने के लिए ना, somebody who does something simply for the sake of passing interest, right? ज्यादा डीपली नहीं जाता. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, dilettante would be, okay, उसको लगा कि अच्छा मुझे म्यूजिक सीखना है, 2 दिन सीखा, उसके बाद छोड़ दिया. देन ही स्टार्ट पिकिंग अप, नहीं, आई नीड टू लर्न लाइक जिम्नास्टिक्स. 3 दिन छोड़ के फिर क्रिकेट. सो दैट इज कॉल्ड अ dilettante, राइट? लेकिन इन दिस कॉन्टेक्स्ट dilettantism हैज अ स्पेशल मीनिंग. व्हाट इज दैट? कॉन्टेक्स्ट से गेस करो, कॉन्टेक्स्ट से गेस करो. सो मेनी ऑफ यू आर आस्किंग मी, कॉन्टेक्स्ट से गेस करो, राइट? It is defined here. Some people like to think about things or argue about them without caring to find the true belief. And this is, according to him, this is dilettantism. Right? Matlab, simply arguing, right, without trying to find the belief. What is a belief? He has defined it in the previous sentence also. Belief kya hai? Something that you have arrived at which you believe to be true. Right? Then he defines it further. Right? The belief will determine how we will act. right? If you believe rightly or wrongly, your belief might be right or wrong, that the building that we are trying to reach sits one block to our north. Right? We will walk in that direction. So if you believe that the building is there, right, you will go towards it. It might be right or wrong. So belief should be enough to make you take up action. Right. So we have beliefs about matters, right? We have belief in the real objects. We also have belief in relations of ideas such as 7 and 5 equal 12. Right. So he's telling you about different examples in the field of science, politics, economics, religion, and so on. Some of our beliefs may be false since we are capable of error. To believe something means to think that it is true. So this is what is thinking according to the author. Dilettantism is simply questioning or asking or arguing without trying to have a well set opinion, without having a well set belief. What is a belief? Thinking that something is true. So, dilettantism here means what? Without committing to any firm belief, simply arguing. Okay, so that is dilettantism, right? According to the author. Otherwise, dilettantism is what? Dilettantism is nothing else but when somebody has a passing interest, right? And when somebody has a passing interest in things and not greatly, somebody does not pursue things greatly. Okay, right. So 4 slides you have read, and there will be 4 questions. Let's see. This is the question. According to Pierce, for a particular thought, which of the following statements will be correct? Right. If you examine the 5 statements tell you the relation between a belief and a doubt. Right. So so for this you will have to the answer will not be directly stated, right? What is the relation between a belief and a doubt, right? As it was defined. If you want, I can show you that part again, but you can recall, right? What is a belief and what is a doubt? A doubt is an irritation. You are not sure of something. To erase that unsurety, belief comes. Okay, so that was the relation that we had. So look at the options very carefully. This question is not easy. So what is the relation between doubt and a belief? Because everything is related to I mean, all the options are can or have belief and doubt in it. Okay. So Vicky is the first to answer. Not saying that Vicky's answer is confirmed. Others are also encouraged to type in your answers. So what should be the answer? Okay, some are saying C also. Okay, many are saying C. अच्छा एक बार बताओ, can doubt and belief में coexist कैसे हो सकता है? Majority are saying C. ये कैसे हो सकता है? What is belief? Belief ends the doubt. Doubt क्या था? Irritation. कुछ किसी चीज के बारे में श्योर नहीं है, right? So you notice where he tells you this is the paragraph. Belief and doubt. Belief is when belief is when you want when you make a statement, and doubt is when you make a question. That means doubt के खत्म होने पे you have a belief. Doubt के खत्म होने पे you have a belief. So कैसे coexist हो सकता है? Doubt is when you are unsure. Belief is when you are sure. Right? So it cannot coexist. Okay, right. So I have eliminated C. Now, a belief and a doubt are not related. Related है because belief doubt खत्म होके belief होता है, right? Doubt is the unsurety. The end of that unsurety is a belief. So how are they not connected? Right. So it's not that they are not unconnected. So the best answer in the given circumstances is right. Now, problem with a belief always leads to a doubt. ये तो उल्टा direction है, right? A doubt always, and the problem with B is this with the word always. See, when you have a doubt, right, a belief ends that doubt. For every doubt, will we always find a belief? No, not necessary, because there may be many unanswered questions, right? So whenever there's a question, and when you find the answer to that question, you have reached the doubt. So A doubt may lead to a belief. So most cases, doubts may lead to a belief. You may also have a doubt where you do not have a belief. So the best answer is, okay, everybody understood? Right. Now, problem with B क्या है? Doubt always leads to a belief. Does it always lead to a belief? If you have a problem, if you have a irritation, if you have a curiosity, is it always satisfied? No, some of them may be satisfied, some of them may not be satisfied. So best answer is, everybody got it, I hope. Everybody understood. So the key question, so this is, as I was telling you, ZAT ke passages are like this. If you are able to answer ZAT passages, ZAT questions, right, CAT will be thoda bahut easier. I mean, generally not always, right? Now, a candidate has applied for ZAT. According to peers, it indicates. This is an application question. Has applied for ZAT, matlab he has taken an action. And the action will be based on a action किस पे basis पे होता है जब doubt है तो we do not take actions जब belief है तो we take actions. Question is tricky because it is asking you belief किस चीज पे है, so you will have to use the general concept of what happens when a student applies for a competitive exam logically, right? What belief does a student have in his mind when he applies for exam? वो use करना पड़ेगा because he is asking you to use an external source, external point, right? So logically, when we apply for that, right, what is the belief that you have? Okay, so let's see. Uh, A and B, right? So people have started answering. Some are saying A, some are saying B, some are saying D also, right? Okay, D. एक बार सोच के देखो, think about it. You have applied for ZAT. When a person applies for ZAT, does the person, is he sure that he or she will perform well in ZAT? Is it D? एक बार सोच के देखो, is it D? Eliminate करके चलो, is it D? D is eliminate. देखो, when you fill up a form of an exam, are you more or less certain, right? Believe what you think to be true. Do you believe that you will perform well? और डाउट होता है, राइट? डाउट बहुत लोगों को होता है, तभी तो यू हैव लॉट ऑफ पीपल हैविंग एंजाइटी नर्वसनेस क्यों होता है? बिकॉज यू हैव डाउट. सो व्हेन यू हैव डाउट यू कैन नॉट हैव बिलीफ. सो आई विल एलिमिनेटेड डी, राइट? डाउटफुल होगा तो एक्शन नहीं लेंगे, ठीक है? ई, द कैंडिडेट हैज अ डाउट अबाउट हिज और हर परफॉर्मेंस इन अदर. देखो, this is irrelevant. Are you applying for ZAT because you think बाकी में तो खराब होगा, right? I will perform well in ZAT. No, right? So action cannot be on the basis of a doubt. So I've eliminated D and E. Okay, right? Now I've eliminated C also. Do you know? I mean, of course, doubtful होगा तो of course action cannot be based on doubt, right? So choose between A and B. Choose between A and B. Best answer is A. The candidate has a belief in the application process, right? This is the only thing which you should देखो, application process meaning the whole process. You believe that it is not corrupt, it follows a system, that it is not rigged, it is not pre-decided, it is not fixed. If you, when you have this belief, you are applying, otherwise you would not, right? The candidate has a belief that Z is a good test of ability. कौन सी ability? Are you applying? See, when you apply for CAT or ZAT, right? Are you applying because you think that it will test your abilities properly? No, you have no idea. So this is quite tricky, right? So when you apply for a competitive exam, right, you are applying because of the belief that you have is this, right? You are sure that you are more or less sure that it is not rigged, it is not fixed. अगर ये फिक्स होते तो आप नहीं करते अप्लाई. If you think that the process is illogical, you would not have applied. But the test itself may be good or bad, you do not have any assumptions on this. So the best answer is, right, this is a tricky question, right? I hope everybody understood. That is why I said that का question अगर कर लोगे तो you to handle that to some extent, right? Next question. This is, remember, dilettantism is given the information, the The definition of dilettantism was given by the author. So what do you have to find out? You have to find out what is the meaning of dilettantism according to the context, not according to dictionary meaning. Dictionary meaning तो कुछ भी नहीं यहाँ. The dictionary meaning of of dilettantism तो यहाँ है भी नहीं, right? So what is dilettantism? Do you want me to show you the relevant part, or will you do it based on your belief? Tell me. Pinky, unlikelihood. That means you do not remember it. देखो एक मिनट. Dilettantism, Shagufta and Pinky are saying answer is E. Vicky, okay. E. एक मिनट देखो. Dilettantism, that means you don't remember. पर यहाँ देखो. What is dilettantism? Dilettantism यहाँ defined है. Such dilettantism, that is, some people like to think about things or argue without caring to find the true belief. For him, this is dilettantism. मतलब without committing to one belief, people argue for the sake of arguing. This is dilettantism. मतलब if I give you an example, एक debate है, right? Suppose there are some people, I'll give you an example. You will, something which everybody will be divided on, right? So, will you vote for a political party called A, or will you vote for a political party called B? मेरे पास दो choices है. Dilettantism is B में भी गलती निकालेंगे, A में भी गलती निकालेंगे, right? So that is dilettantism according to. Okay, now everybody should get the answer correct. Dilettantism, right? When you it is not belief, right? The best answer is guess. Okay, the best answer is guess. The best answer is guess. Without having a fixed belief, you are arguing idhar bhi udhar bhi, right? So the best answer is guess. Everybody understood? Unlikelihood बिल्कुल नहीं है, right? So according to him, dilettantism is when you do not believe in anything, you simply argue simply like that. That means you yourself are not, So the best answer is guess. ठीक है. अब belief doubt तो that is out of the question. Belief and doubt are what the author tells you as states of mind, right? So dilettantism is basically guesswork, right? Without having any fixed reference, if you simply do that, that is called yes. Indecisiveness is probably indecisiveness. Jabardasti and undecisive hona. That is basically. Everybody got it, I hope, right? So answer the question on the basis of what is given. If they ask you to take a look at something which I always tell you is we answer the question according to what the passage says. But कुछ question में sometimes you are required to take extra information. For example, इस question में देखो extra information देखना पड़ेगा. A candidate has applied for that. इस extra information को passage के साथ जोड़ना पड़ेगा. Even in the next question that you are going to see this thing also, right? So you have to take into account this statement along with the statement. Okay, right? Everybody got it, I hope. Now try this question. Let's see. So answer this question on the basis of the information that you have read in the passage along with the information that is provided in the green ink. A person thinks that she has to keep awake for 20 hours in a day to score well, but is awake for only 15 hours. So what is this? This is easy. Do not complicate matters. Simplify करके चलो. Right. According to the author, if I give you a clue, right? If I give you the clue, it will become very easy. Remember, okay, doubt or where the author explains the difference between doubt and belief. जब हम किसी city में जाते हैं, right? So doubt is not knowing where the railway station is. Belief is when you have found out where the railway station is, right? That what you have found out might be true or might be false. It is on. Okay, everybody is saying answer is D. Okay, it is only a thought, a pure thought, nothing to do with action. He is awake for only He has to he is awake for only 15 hours. Action hai. D cannot be the answer. He has देखो, belief is something, if it is true belief according to the author, you should be willing to act on it. Otherwise, it is not a true belief. The best answer is B. This person does not have a true belief. That is why he did not act. Right. If you have a belief, you will act according to that belief. If you do not act according to that belief, you do not have that belief. So the belief might be right or wrong. We do not know. Okay. Now, A, what is okay, everybody? This person, the person does not have a doubt. Dekho, the person does not have a doubt is something which is not clear. This it is actually in fact closer to being wrong because the person thought that he thinks that you should sleep for 20 hours, but actually he does something else. That means his belief was not strong enough. Okay, getting the point, everybody. So, according to the author, right, what is I'll give you a line which will help you answer this question. देखो, look at this. Look at this line. Objectively, a belief is a rule of action. A belief is a rule of action. So, इससे define कर सकते हैं. Rule of action मतलब something which makes you act. And remember, I also gave you, right, देखो, if you believe that the railway station is in this direction, you will go in that direction whenever you go, right? If you believe that the railway station is in this direction and if you go this way, that means your earlier belief was not wrong, was not a belief. Okay, everybody is clear about this, I hope, right? So, with that, come to the end of the. I hope all of you understood. And before we end, let me quickly show you the schedule. Right, all of you know that this session which you're attending now, it happens at 10 o'clock, Wednesdays to Mondays. Right, today is Wednesday, so it will go on till Monday. There will be a break on Tuesday. Right. So yes, okay. पीयूष, सी में प्रॉब्लम क्या है? सी में प्रॉब्लम क्या है? It's a counter argument. Is it a counter argument? Counter argument means it will prove Peirce's theory wrong. Right? देखो, एक ये पियर्स की थियरीज के ऑपोजिट है. डज इट मीन दैट इट प्रूव्स इट रॉन्ग? नो. काउंटर आर्ग्यूमेंट मीन्स इट विल कम विद अ रिजल्ट. पियर्स कहता है बिलीव करते हो तो करना भी चाहिए. यहां बिलीफ लगता है, बिलीव तो करता है लेकिन किया नहीं. Is it a counter argument? No. Counter argument should come with a proper reason for proper explanation, right? So that is not the case, right? So if I say I am happy, okay, if I say whenever I am happy I eat, right? I am happy but I did not eat. Is it a counter argument or is it like something which does not go according to that principle? So something which does not go according to that principle is not a counter argument. Okay, clear everybody? So before we leave, look at all the details analysis. You can see that NMAT 2021. So, and if you look at it, right, there are two available courses now. If you think you need preparation for the last minute preparations for CAT, you can think of this. Otherwise, if you think of joining, a batch which will target next year, right, you can, okay. And there's also a batch which will target different exams like SNAP, Narsi Mundi, TISNET, all these exams, right? And those of you who are planning for this, right? Right. And there is this All India Open Mock for CAT 2021. Will be live till the 14th of October. Take it and find out where. Okay. Right. So that is all for today. I will meet you again tomorrow and we will try to we will keep on solving questions like this and hone our skills. Right. So that's it. Vicky, yes, new faculty, right? Faculty. Okay. New in the system, but experience, right? So the new in the system only, right? But otherwise, not a no. Okay, right. So that is all for today. I will meet you again tomorrow.